How do I win prizes from a carnival midway? With this gun in my hand. Falk Zildjian, unblinking hero by virtue of the fact that he carries a gun, stands in the Parabellum City County Fairgrounds. From this vantage point, he can see the sun kiss the western horizon. He's losing daylight. Hey, Falk, am I too late? Thanks for coming, Catcher. No problem. Do you mind calling me by my full name, Catch 2022? Only there's some new guy calls himself the Catcher. I don't want people to confuse him and me. I don't know if he's a criminal or a crime fighter, but he's part of a gang that dresses in old-timey baseball uniforms. Do you know any crime fighters that belong to gangs? Sure, everybody in G.I. Jake. I rest my case. Anyway, Catch 2022. It's a long shot, but I thought I might be able to use your skills. Yeah, of course, anytime. I haven't been to the fair since I was a kid. It's not time for the actual fair. That's later in the year. What are we doing here, then? They hold other events at the fairgrounds all year round. Antique flea market one weekend, then the gun and doll show, knife show, saber show, the wakizashi show, glaive gazarm show. You'd think they could combine a few of those and have one big blade show. No, you don't want to get all those guys with edged weapons in the same room arguing about which weapon is better. Then you got your home show, boat show, various agricultural exhibitions, the reptile expo, the llama show. Are you saying reptilians are allowed to just waltz in here and say, "Hey kids, let's put on a show," after all the damage they've done? Apparently these are non-humanoid reptiles, pets owned by humans. Ah, gotcha. Nice impression of reptilians, by the way. Thanks. So apart from all that, how can I help? There was an art heist at the llama show. I was hoping you could... I did not know those phrases could ever be used in conjunction. Is it paintings of lambs or by lambs? Llamas. They're like long-necked sheep. Here, right inside this barn you can see some of them. Whoa! When a mommy camel and a daddy horse really love each other, they're from South America. I know it's a long shot, but I figured if anyone in the future writes some mystery stories or radio shows or cliffhanger serials about the events that happened here today, maybe you'd have a vision of it. I can't actively trigger my visions, Falk. They come to me passively. I just repeat them to people later. Can you go back a little bit? What's worth stealing out of these bonds? Animals? My understanding is that the wool is somewhat expensive. Nah. Alpaca, maybe. I never heard of yarn or fabric made from these llama things. You've heard of alpaca, but not llamas? Reason I know about crochet, knitting, all kinds of fiber crafts is because my Aunt Ruby is a nut for all that. Ah, shoot, it slipped out. Don't worry. I'm sure there are enough women named Ruby in Parabellum City that no one will be able to deduce your secret identity. Yeah, so anyways, you think somebody stole raw wool? It just don't seem worth it. These are thieves we're talking about, not the sharpest needles in the knitting basket. But I imagine what happened was something like this.
Listen up, you mugs. I'm only going to say this once. You heard about this llama show at the county fairgrounds?
No.
Yeah.
Well, they're having a show.
Boss, I don't think we should get mixed up with llamas. I heard there's a green one that fights crime.
Oh, you gotta watch out for guys that get trained to fight in the Orient. It's a land of mystery. Sometimes they pick up supernatural power.
Not that kind of llama, you knucklehead. These are beasts of burden. That's why they're going to be in the Agricultural Exhibition Center at the fairgrounds.
Mr. Kreutzer, do you think I could get one of those Italian sausages while we're at the fair? They always have a wagon in the concessions area that sells...
Sure, why not? When the llama owners and security guards come after us, we'll declare a timeout while you go get a hot dog.
Oh, they're better than hot dogs. These ones are made of sausage. Plus they have grilled onions and peppers on them. And they use these yellow rolls, not like regular buns.
That sounds good.
No, you can't pause the hair heist so you can get a sausage. Go to a diner and get one later.
That's a shame. You can't get them like that anywhere else in town, with the red peppers and grilled onions.
You'll have to suffer until the fair comes to town again. Now pay attention. You street hoods have probably never seen a llama. They're shaggy, camel-looking things, but without the hump and not as tall. From the Andes Mountains in Chile or Peru.
Are we gonna steal some of them, Mr. Kreutzer? Who do you go to when you want to fence livestock?
We're not gonna sell the animals. We're gonna take their wool.
All this is for some wool?
I heard of alpaca wool and Shetland wool, but I never heard of llama wool. I'm sort of familiar with the topic because my Aunt Ruby is crazy for knitting and crochet.
Pipe down. I'm telling you it's worth the risk, all right? Have I ever let you down before? Well, have I?
Oh, I don't know.
Not really.
Good. You can take my word for it that it's valuable. It's not just regular wool, see? They're exhibiting art at the llama show. And I don't want to hear how much you know about art because your great-grandma Darlene was an appraiser of the works of the Renaissance masters. I'm telling you it's worth it. They got these stupid llamas, which I hear are kind of mean. They grew out the hair without cutting it off. And then they got some painters or calligraphers or some such to carefully draw words on segments of llama hair, still attached to the critters. They're copying scriptures from all the great religious texts of the world. The Quran, the Torah, the Ramayana, a couple others I forget.
Okay.
We're gonna carefully shave it off. Then we can sell that painted hair with the scriptures on it. I know a fence who specializes in folk art and outsider art. It'll be worth a pretty penny, let me tell you. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. We'll be in this stand of woods to the northeast of the fairgrounds. At precisely 6 o'clock in the evening, we enter by this gate.
Should we synchronize our watches?
I'd have to buy a watch.
You don't have a watch?
We don't need watches and we don't need to synchronize them. There's a church half a mile away. They ring the bell at 6 p.m., so we'll know it's go time.
Perfect. We'll launch into action as soon as we hear the Rama Lama Ding Dong.
I don't get it.
The Ramayana tells a story of this guy named Rama, so I...
Shut it, and be respectful. These are the sacred texts of the major world religions.
I didn't hear you say the Bible was in there.
The Torah is the Hebrew term for the first 5 books of the Old Testament in the Bible.
Oh, nice. Kills 2 birds with 1 stone.
What about the cars, Mr. Kreutzer?
I'm coming to it. 6 o'clock, we pull out from under that stand of poplar trees. We enter the fairgrounds through the gate. We load llamas into their trailers, then hook up the trailers to your cars. It's the end of the llama show. If we're lucky, they'll be packing up the llamas into trailers already. We just hook up and drive off.
Boss, I thought you said the animals wasn't worth nothing. We was just stealing the hares.
Yeah, well, you want to knock out all the llama owners, then hope nobody walks by as we carefully trim the painted pelts off for a couple hours? Maybe you and me can work on that while Herb goes for his Italian sausage.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd really appreciate that.
I mind. You don't linger at a heist. You get in, get it done, and get gone before anybody raises an alarm or gets a good look at you. We drive in, hook up the trailers, make our getaway. 5 minutes, tops. Then we rendezvous at Lefty's uncle's place, out on the end of Verf Street. Got a farm out there. Nobody'll notice the animals. We'll unload 'em, take time to shear 'em, then we load up the animals again and drop the trailers somewhere. Call the owners and tell 'em where to find the llamas.
Are you sure? Cops could maybe find our fingerprints on the trailers. They could track us down. I don't know, maybe we should,
You want to kill the trailers?
No, the llamas.
That wouldn't stop 'em finding prints on the trailers. Plus, I don't work like that. Now let's go.
That's how I imagine it might have gone. Were you eavesdropping as they planned all that? No. Okay, well, I have notes. What do you mean you have notes? For one thing, the hop sound usually signals a flashback. Right. A flashback to your own personal experience. Something that actually happened. You can't flash back to what you imagined somebody else did. Well, what would you suggest? There needs to be some musical cue between those parts, or else it would sound like you and me get done talking and then these mugs are standing right next to us in the same place planning the heist. Any kind of musical sting could work. Such as? I don't know. What do we got here? How about this one? Sounds too much like a love story. Well then... Never mind. Unless this barn is haunted, that ain't it. It's done. Let's just... Wait. Try this. The label says very dramatic. That's good enough. You proved your point. We need to find these guys.
And you will find them, right after this word from our sponsor. Has this ever happened to you?
Hi. I know your sign says Nichols Pawn Shop, but are you the guy that gives upfront money to criminals so they can afford equipment to make a big score?
No. Get out of here, kid.
Maybe I got the wrong shop. Is he in one of the other fronts on this street?
What are you, 12? What do you need a loan for?
I need to be set up so I can make a score.
You gonna score a bottle of grape knee-high?
Maybe I am. Just so happens I'm doing a 5-finger discount and getting away with my pockets stuffed full.
You need financing for your shoplifting.
I need the right clothes to fit in. Otherwise they'll kick me out of the store first thing I walk in.
I see. Someplace upscale.
A jewelry store or a hoity-toity haberdasher.
No, I'm going to Woolworth's. But the house dick will think I'm suspicious first thing they see me walking around in this raggedy coat with my big toe sticking out the front of my shoe.
How could you steal enough from Woolworth's to make it worth the outlay for a new set of clothes?
'Cause I'm that good.
Anyway, Woolworth's ain't got a house dick. They're too small potatoes.
And that's where you're wrong.
Who are you?
The narrator. Speaking on behalf of Woolworths, we think of these things. We don't want our customers to be disturbed by even the most petty of criminals shoplifting half-pint bottles of cod liver oil.
That's crazy. I never seen a house dick or any security in Woolworth's.
You know why you don't see them? Because they're that good. You should steal from somewhere else, kid. And while we're at it, you should seek financing somewhere else. Tonight's other sponsor is Jackie Two-Tone's Small Potatoes Crime Financing. Yes, with Jackie Two-Tone, no job is too small. From cleaning out the corner store to stealing the cash box from your kid sister's lemonade stand, Jackie will lend you money to buy tools, a bandana to cover your face. You can even rent some shoes from the bowling alley so your big toe ain't sticking out. If you're a small fry, step right up to Jackie Two-Tone's Small Potatoes Crime Financing. I can't tell you his address or phone number because cops and snitches listening to this would track him down. But ask around some of your no-good friends. They'll know where to find him. We now return to Falk Zildjian and Catch 2022 in The Barn Job.
Falk, I know you're under a lot of pressure to solve this before something awful happens to those llamas. But with that whole imaginary scenario you told me about, I think you've got a little bit of a Lan Golly Yay Leap here. What's a Lan Golly Yay Leap? To start with, it's named after this horror author. Are we allowed to say that? I think we have to dodge the network censors by calling them ladies of negotiable virtue. No, horror. You know, like terror. Stories that horrify you. The supernatural, scary type situations. Oh, you're not going to mention that horror author who named his cat? No. Fella I'm talking about is named Lan Golly Yay. He writes stories with supernatural elements, see? Kind of fantasy and whatnot. The good guys are fighting some supernatural monsters, the kind of thing nobody's ever heard about before. It's not like vampires or werewolves where everybody knows the rules for how to kill them, with a wooden stake, a sunlight, a silver bullet, respectively. Right. Did you have a question? No, I just wanted to interject something here to break up your long monologue. Okay, so they try to piece together what the rules are for this monster. Only how do a handful of puny humans find out the weakness of some terrible monster from another galaxy? Or from underground, or creatures of myth and legend? The clock's ticking, see? Well, it's hard to dole out clues the heroes can put together quickly, so sometimes a writer makes what you call a Lan Golly Yay Leap. The good guys speculate about what's happening. One of them says maybe the monster comes from the moon. Maybe he came to Earth because he's allergic to the moon. If we can get a piece of asteroid that fell to Earth, maybe it'll have a piece of moon rock in it. We can get that piece of asteroid from the local museum and sharpen it and tie it to an arrow shaft. And maybe if we shoot it into him, the monster dies. That sounds like a lot of ifs and maybes. Exactly. How do we know the monster is allergic to the moon? How do we know the asteroid contains a piece of moon rock? How do we know the amount of moon rock necessary to kill it? Instead of making solid deductions, the heroes fall in love with their own speculation. They come to an unsupported conclusion and they act on it, because the writer doesn't have time to drop clues that would support that conclusion. I think I know what you're talking about now. Like that one story where flying blobs with fangs start to consume the landscape. So the heroes... No, I haven't read that one. You think I made one of those leaps? Yeah, it was all speculation. You don't know how it really happened. You know, it could have been more like this. No, cut the music. We're not going into a whole other digression. We need to take this beyond the limits. You gonna become one of them killer vigilantes who takes no prisoners? No, beyond the city limits. I know where they're hiding.
23 minutes later, after a stifling ride on the city bus with windows that can't be opened.
How do you know they're here? Everybody knows where Lefty's uncle's house is. It's at the end of Verf Street, last house on the left. See, there's the farmhouse. There's the barn, silo, chicken coop. How do you want to play this? Want me to take the back door and you take the front? Give me 2 minutes to get in position. Wait, do you hear that? It's coming from those trailers by the barn.
Don't hand me that. You think I'm an idiot? There was one llama.
It wasn't me.
I thought the little one was already in the trailer when we loaded the rest.
How are we going to explain this to Jackie Two-Tone when he comes to collect on the loan?
Freeze! Put your hands in the air and step away from the llamas. You should do what he says. Last week, Falk shot guns out of the hands of 150 bad guys with one shot. They were standing in a row, so that made it easier.
You know what? I don't care anymore. You can shoot me. You can put me in space prison.
There's no space prison.
I want to know which of you no-good, incompetent schmucks loaded a sheep in the trailer with those llamas. And don't tell me it was already on the trailer. I saw all three empty, except for one llama in one trailer when we pulled up. Did you think this thing with horns curled around his ears was a short-necked llama?
We were in a hurry. I don't know how to herd llamas, boss. I just pushed on their hindquarters till a couple started moving.
Which one of you...
It could have been any one of us, really.
To put it another way, Mr. Kreutzer, you're asking, who put the ram in the Ramalama Ding Dong?
I still don't get it.
Nobody ever does. This is my burden to bear. Are those two llamas doing what I think they're doing?
They're producing more wool in a very roundabout way.
One of you guys separate them, please?
I think that one is an alpaca. It got caught up when we loaded the llamas and the ram.
This still doesn't make sense, Falk. You imagined how three guys might have planned a heist. Somehow you got their names right in your imagination. You got their voices right. You even imagined the address where they'd bring the stolen llamas. But it was all speculation and guesswork. Catch 2022. When you told me about the Lan Golly Yay Leap, you forgot one thing. The conclusion those heroes leap to always turns out to be right.
Howdy, howdy. Is anyone home? I didn't see anybody in the house, so I come to knock at the barn.
Aunt Ruby, what are you doing here? You know these guys?
Do you and Lefty's uncle have a thing going on?
It's not what you think. I'm not here to meet Lefty's uncle. I'm here to pick up my nephew.
But which one of your nephews?
The Barn Job, episode 151 of This Gun in My Hand, was stolen and sheared by Rob Northrup. This episode and all others are available on YouTube with automatically generated closed captions of dialogue. Visit thisguninmyhand.blogspot.com for credits, show notes, archives, and to buy my books, such as Sisyphus Eat Your Heart Out, available in paperback and ebook from Amazon. What do I use to keep farm animals in line? This gun in my hand.